Few days back, within 48 hours, nearly 60,000 migrants entered into the North African territory of Spain. And this triggered tension not just in the region of Gibraltar, but across the Europe. Immediately after this incident, the Italian government suspended its Schengen agreements with the Spanish government. And very soon, the European Union called for an emergency meeting, and in this meeting, the Union criticized the Spanish government for weak border control. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the Strait of Affairs brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. In this episode, we are going to talk about the Spanish migrant crisis. So, what is the Spain migrant crisis that we are discussing for the last few days? So, like I mentioned, within 48 hours, nearly 60,000 migrants entered into the North African city of Spain, that is Ceuta. So we can see that the Ceuta is located in the northern tip of African continent, and it is located very close to Europe. It is located very close to Europe, especially Spain. It is just 15 to 18 kilometers away from the Spain. Therefore, this city of Ceuta is very important for the Spain because it is important for it is an entry point for the Spain into the African continent, and also it is important for trade with the African regions. So, what is the history of this Ceuta city? So, we can see that the city was actually founded by Phoenicians in the ancient times. But later, when the Roman Empire came to power, the Roman Empire controlled this region. We know that Roman Empire was a mighty empire that controlled three main continents, that is Asia, Europe, and Africa, especially the Northern Africa. And that time, the Ceuta and this region were under the control of Roman Empire. But later, we know that the Roman Empire collapsed in the late antiquity, and the Islamic political influence started expanding towards the west. They controlled the entire North Africa, and for some time they even controlled the Spain. And we can see that time the Islam, especially the Umayyad, controlled this region. Umayyad is a political dynasty, Islamic political dynasty, so they controlled this region. And later, in 1415, the Portuguese ruler King John I, he conquered this region and marked the expansion, the Portuguese expansion beyond the sea. And later we can see that after this incident, that is nearly after 1 century, the Portuguese dynasty faced a huge succession crisis. That is in the year 1578. In the year 1578, the Portuguese dynasty faced a succession crisis because the King Sebastian of the Portuguese dynasty, he went to battle in Morocco. That is known as the Battle of Alcazar. So in this battle, Sebastian was killed and there was no immediate heir. And this resulted into a crisis, a political crisis in the Portuguese dynasty. And utilizing this political situation, the Spanish kingdom, they captured Portuguese. And for some time, the Spain controlled the Portuguese. So automatically all the Portuguese regions came under the control of the Spain. And later the Portuguese got independence. That is in the year 1668, the Portuguese got independence from the Spanish rule. And we can see that even though the Portuguese got independence, through the Treaty of Lisbon, this region remained under the control of the Spain. So that is how this region came to the hands of the Spain. And years passed, after a few centuries, we can see that the world entered into modern period, and we witnessed the World War I and World War II. And after the World War II, we can see a phase of decolonization. That means the colonial powers started giving freedom to the colonies, or the colonies started getting independence. So we can see that by this time, the northern African regions were controlled. Few regions were controlled by the Spain, including certain parts of Morocco. In 1956, the Morocco got complete independence. But even after that, this region, the city of Ceuta, remained under the control of the Spain. And that time, the Spain was ruled by a fascist ruler, Franco. And we can see that by the 1970s, there was a fight for independence from the Western Sahara, from the country of Western Sahara. Now we are entering into the geopolitics of the Strait of Gibraltar. So here we have a country called Western Sahara, and before 1975, this Western Sahara was known as Spanish Sahara. This Western Sahara was known as Spanish Sahara. So in 1975, the Spain gave independence to the Western Sahara, and without completing the decolonization process, the Spain left the scenario. And this gave an opportunity for the Morocco. So that time, the Morocco was controlled by the King Hassan II. His full name is Hassan bin Muhammad bin Yusuf Al Alawi. So that is his full name. So shortly we can call him Hassan II. So that time the Morocco, they already got independence and they are there in the North African region. And now without completing the decolonization process, the Spain gave independence to the Western Sahara. But the power did not reach the independence or the freedom did not reach the hand of the Sahrawi population. So Sahrawi population is an indigenous people of the Western Sahara. But the power did not reach, the freedom did not reach the hands of the Sahrawi population. Instead, Morocco utilized this situation, this confusion, and they started something called Green March. This Green March is very important to understand the present migrant crisis, because the present migrant crisis is another form of Green March, or maybe we can call it as a Green March 2.0. So here, instead of using the military, the King Hassan's government sent the civilian people to claim the Western Sahara. So even today, 80% of this Western Sahara is controlled by the Morocco. Remaining 20% is controlled by the Sahrawi Nationalist Liberation Movement, shortly known as Polisario Front. And this Polisario Front is, to an extent, it is supported by the country of Algeria. So this is the geopolitics of this region. This is a history of this region, and we can see that we can see that through the Green March. That means through sending the civilians in 1975, Morocco claimed 80% of the Western Sahara. Even today, it is controlled like that. And now we will come to the present situation, discuss some of the few reasons behind the present migrant crisis. The first is the recent ruling from the Spanish Supreme Court. So recently, the Spanish Supreme Court gave a ruling that the people who are entering into the Spain through the sea cannot be deported immediately. And this ruling is applicable only to the people who entered into the Spanish territory through the sea. It is not applicable to the people who entered into the Spanish territory to the land. So we can see that through the Morocco, many people entered into the Ceuta city through the land. So therefore, this ruling is not applicable for them. And second is the misinformation by the trafficking network. So the Spanish government, led by Pedro Sanchez, they severely criticized that many smugglers and mafia, they misused the Supreme Court ruling, saying that now the Spain is free. So many, they spread a rumor on the social media that now the Spain is free, it is open to the migrants. So that could also be a reason behind the present migrant crisis. And next is the social media campaign. Like I mentioned, they misused this Supreme Court verdict, and they created a rumor through the social media that the Spain government has opened the border for the refugees and migrants. And next is the economic hardship in Morocco. So we can see that currently the unemployment in Morocco is standing at a 10%. So it is standing at a 10%. So this high unemployment. This is the status of the first quarter of 2026. So as of the first quarter of the 2026, the unemployment in the Morocco is standing at a 10%. So the economic condition in the country has forced the people, or might have forced the people, to enter into the Spanish territory. And next is Spain-Morocco tension. So we can see that already the Ceuta city is also claimed by Morocco. There is a conflict between the Spain and the Morocco government for the Ceuta city. So the political observers or the analysts, they are saying that this could be a strategy of the Morocco government, because they already used this same strategy in 1975 in the form of Green March. So now we can see the same movement again. That means, how is it that possible that within 48 hours 60,000 people suddenly entering into a new territory? So the political analysts, they are saying that this could be triggered by, or this could be a planned operation by some countries, including the Morocco. So this is an opinion from the political analyst. So these are the major reasons that we can currently assume as the reason behind the present migrant crisis in the Ceuta city. So what was the impact of this migrant crisis? So we can see that the European, if you take the European governments, most of the governments are controlled by right-wing parties. And on other side, the Spanish government is controlled by, or it is ruled by, the left-wing party, that is the Spanish Workers' Socialist Party, led by Pedro Sanchez. And if you take the case of the recent opinions from the the Spanish government, we can see that they have opposed many actions and many policies from the US and Israel. So there is already a division, an ideological and opinion-based division within the European continent. And now this got intensified because of the Spanish crisis. And we can see that the immediate impact of this humanitarian crisis was the death of nearly 57 to 72 people. 72 people in their attempt to enter into the Spanish territory got killed. They got accidentally, they got killed. And next is political tension with the European Union. So we can see that immediately after this incident, the Italian government, they suspended their agreements with Schengen agreements with the Spanish administration, and the European Union called for an immediate emergency meeting. And in this meeting, the European Union severely criticized the Spanish government for their weak border management. And within the country also, the Spanish government is facing a lot of opposition because of their incapability in controlling the situation. And currently, as per the reports from the Spanish officials, they are saying that the condition is under control. The law and order is stable in the Ceuta city. And next is strained Spain-Morocco relations. So already there is a in 2022 we can see that the Spain supported a UN referendum to provide plebiscite facility for the people of Sahara to as a part of the self determination. And this in 2022 itself, this triggered an issue between the Morocco and the Spain. And now this migrant crisis once again raising concerns about a possibility of strained relation between the Morocco and the Spanish government. And enhanced border security. So we can see that Spain deployed military, reinforced the Ceuta's border, and strengthened surveillance to prevent further crossing. So they have currently they have enhanced the security forces in the city to prevent the further inflow of the migrants. And next is Schengen agreements. So we implications. So currently the Italian government has suspended the agreements with the Spanish government, like I mentioned. So it is also straining the relationship between the Spanish and the Italian government. And next is possibility of mass repatriation. That means most migrants voluntarily return to Morocco with the cooperation of Moroccan authorities. So currently, some of them are returning back, and there are reports saying that some people are not ready to go back. So this is creating a kind of uncertainty in the tip of North Africa. So this is the overall impact of the present Spanish migrant crisis. So I hope you understood this topic, and you can give your feedbacks in the comment section. We will meet you in another episode with another interesting topic. Until then, take care. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching us.